Thank you for tuning into the L. Henderson Real News Show, issues, views, and solutions. The L. Henderson Real News Show is designed for you to listen, learn, and invest your knowledge and skills in your community. The show's format will be clear and direct. Each show will identify a problem. It will determine who benefits from the problem. The show will also determine who is the victim. And finally, we will show you how to create a prioritized action plan for success that can change your life, family status, and community in 30, 60, 90 days guaranteed. The L. Henderson Real News Show will identify, address, and teach you how to resolve problems in education, economics, politics, religion, community development, and local, state, national, and international affairs. So I want you to stay tuned for the L. Henderson's Real News Show. Hello, viewers. This is Eldridge Henderson from the L. Henderson Real News Show. Part of being successful is dressing for success. This is why I want to tell you about Pennywise Cleaners, who's been serving the Southwest Jackson community for over 3 years at 4590 Raymond Road in Jackson, Mississippi. Pennywise delivers friendly service with a smile. Whether drop-off, drive-through, or delivery, Pennywise has got you covered. All work is done on-site using state-of-the-art equipment to keep you sharp and clean. A penny saved is a penny earned. At Pennywise Cleaners, located at 4590 Raymond Road, Jackson, Mississippi. For more information, the number is 601-372-0097. Pennywise Cleaners is a proud sponsor of the L. Henderson's Real News Show. Viewers, at this time, Brother David and I will talk about some solutions to these suspensions and dropouts and expulsions that's developing throughout the state of Mississippi and the nation with black children. There are solutions, and Brother David, I want you to just address some of the solutions to these problems, because we know there's a lot of bad behavior when you don't have corrective actions taken in the home. Yes, Tell us what you think should happen to eliminate some of these problems.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I'm honored to be able to stay on for this second portion of the show, Doc. This is a very serious issue. As you know, Mississippi ranks 50th or below 45 in almost every indicator of negativity in terms of impoverishment, in terms of obesity, in terms of education. And so a lot of times the children will get blamed for stuff that's much larger than them. But let's just say these are 3 things that every child can do in school. These are 3 things that every child can do in school, and don't cost a whole bunch of money. The first one is go to class every day. Yes, I know that might seem rough because my hair is messed up, my clothes are not quite right. You know, I got the same thing I had on 2 days ago, but go to class every day. That's something every child can do. It's hard to get an F in class if you show up every day. You're going to learn something. The second one is find something that you like in school. Find out what it is that you like while you're in school. Give yourself an opportunity to focus on something that you enjoy doing to help get through some of the rest of the day in school. And the third thing I would say that every child can do, it doesn't cost a lot of money, is develop a personal relationship with your counselor. Your counselor has access to information that not everyone else has in terms of career paths and guidance. And not only do you want to get to know your counselor, you want your counselor to get to know you. And that way you can increase your opportunity for success in school. That's something that every child in elementary or middle school or high school can do. It does not cost a lot of money.
Very good, because we know due to economic dilemmas, we have a situation where most parents can't afford to do certain things.
That's right.
But they can use what you've just said, sir,
right,
and not spend money,
right,
and get some good positive results.
That's right. That's right.
But now, before they get to school, Brother David, I think too, and the listeners will agree, that the child should also have curfews at home.
Right.
Parents shouldn't allow them to do nothing but
right,
eat, take a 30-minute break, and then study 3 to 4 hours every day, Monday through Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, your child should be doing his or her homework 3 to 4 hours per day, Monday through Thursday.
But Doc, you know, that's kind of tough today with the internet and with the access to technology so freely. You know, that's kind of tough to stick to, but what you're saying is right on in terms of competing globally.
Brother David, technology
Yes, sir.
and all these other ills in the home cannot be used if the parents demand that they are not used. Give you an example.
You have a point there.
There is no child in America, especially in the black community, that should be able to talk on a telephone during school days up to 15 minutes or more.
The conversation should be limited to a reasonable amount of time.
Very reasonable.
Yes, sir.
15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Per period, and that's per day.
Wow, Doc, that's
After
harsh.
school, what are they going to talk about? If the students are flunking in school, they have every problem in the world.
The school is flunking.
Well, of course.
It ain't just the students that are flunking, the school is flunking.
Well, sometimes if you pay attention to what you need to know so you can be competitive, stay off the telephone, stay off the internet cycle, and pay attention to what you're supposed to do, you will find that you can move forward.
Yes, sir.
TV time, television time,
Yes.
is killing the minority young people.
That's true.
The poor
That's
students.
right. That's true.
Many parents allow them to watch television while they are doing their homework.
No, you're right.
So we are going to have to look at these solutions and start doing it.
I mean, some time ago, Doc, because you've done it over 25 years in education, as a consultant, as a curriculum developer, as an administrator, and then I know you used to have a list of several things that each parent could do. And I know that you have that list with the Action Leadership Institute and Changing Lives Unlimited. What are some of the things from that list, if I can ask?
Well, Brother David, you are right.
Yes, sir.
We have Action Leadership Institute procedures and policies in place, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to know how to help your child get in school and get out with a certificate of completion during a 12-year period, all you have to do is call the Action Leadership Institute at 601-201-1957 and say, we need to hear that seminar. I have 10 or more parents, and we want you to come to us, or you can call me and say, I want you to set the schedule, and we'll come to you, and we want this information. And Brother David, I'll give them this seminar free.
Wow.
And if they will take advantage of what we will share,
Yes, sir.
most of their children will do just like you did when
Yes,
you were in school.
That's right.
Enter school,
Right.
do what you're supposed to do, graduate, and go and get a career in something that you want to work in.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Doc, because you've been doing this for quite a while. You had that list of those things that parents could do. It don't cost a lot of money to get those things done on the list of 10 things. If the show allowed, of course, we would read all 10 of them out, but that would take forever. But I just do want to go right to what you said. You know, there's another plan for students who are at the high school level that's slightly different for the children that are at the lower school level. And if you're in high school, especially if you're in the 11th, 12th grade, and you might be about to go to college, a lot of times you don't really know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You be confused, right? Because people haven't sat down to explain it to you. You never developed a relationship with your counselor to know what some of the career options are. And so, and of course, the D-boy, the dope boy, got a better economic agenda than the pastor, the politician, or the professor. And as long as that's true, the community gonna stay in woe. So I want to talk a little bit later about the 444 plan. It's the 444 plan for children who are in grades 11 and 12, about to leave high school and go into college.
Well, now, why wait until later, Brother David? Let's talk about it now, because we know what the problems are. Now we need some specific solutions to address these problems from pre-K through high school. Let's start right now.
Well, I wanted you to touch that list of 10, but let me go into it. The 444 plan is pretty simple. The 444 plan goes like this. In the state of Mississippi, it costs about $4,400 for a 2-year degree at your local junior college. That's about $4,400 total, roughly. And that's about $1,100 per year. It might be a slight differentiation. But for $4,400 over a 2-year period, your child can receive a quality, structured education in a multitude of courses which allow them to have professional skill set development. And with that $4,400 investment in yourself, in your child, then your child has the opportunity to go and earn $40,000, or a job that allows them to earn about $40,000. That's not quite middle class. That's a little bit on the working poor side, but for a person with a 2-year degree that's 20 to 21 or 22 years old, that's a pretty good amount of money here in the state of Mississippi. And with that $40,000 job, you can choose to work it for a little while and build up some money and some equity, or you can choose to transition that into a 4-year college degree, into the field of your choice. And then you can have the opportunity not only to make more money, but have career options that allow you to do what you enjoy doing, so that when you do it, it'll be easy to do for the rest of your life, or so as long as the time allows. There's nothing wrong with having multiple skills, Doc, and that 4-4-4 plan that I just articulated is something that was not given to me by my counselors. I did not come up with that until I ran into you, Doc Henderson, and you start breaking down the GED process. You start breaking down the certificate of completion process. You start breaking down some of the things we can do to save money as we get career-oriented skill sets above and beyond getting a piece of paper.
Okay, now we're going to conclude in a few minutes, Brother David,
Yes,
but
sir.
there's another alternative, and I want parents to understand, since we're going to be concluding this session about solutions, there's nothing wrong for your child, male or female, to join the military if they finish high school and they have the ability and the aptitude to do so. The military could be one of the most positive influences in a child's life. Many times when they barely finish high school, then take that SAT test, make a lower score, I can assure you, as we wrap up, that they will get the skills they needed and the financial support in the military. So don't think it's a bad thing. That's an option for one to consider. Brother David, are you a military man?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I am not in favor of that system when you have other options.
Okay, your problem is, which is good, you had other options.
Correct.
Some people don't have that option. The Action Leadership Institute has office space for rent at North Jackson off I-55 South at 5435 Executive Place Office Park, located in a high-traffic count area. There are 4 offices available, 1 office space, 650 square feet, 3 offices, 150 square feet each. All are available today with first month free and deposit. Ideal spot for established businesses and startups such as law and tax offices, insurance companies, boutiques, counseling centers. Again, the address is 5435 Executive Place Office Park, shown by appointments only. The number is 601-201-1957. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us. We are still talking about solutions to this serious problem we have in America with suspensions and expulsions of black students in the school systems throughout the country. Now, I want you to understand that we have addressed the parents. We've told them what they need to do. But at the same time, Brother David, yes, we must address what we call larger segments in the community and yes, what they need to do.
Right.
And I will tell you one of the solutions that I've addressed and used throughout the years is that parents, families, and community leaders must set up what we call community corrective action plans.
Yes, sir.
Meet with district officials in the school system, starting with the principals, the superintendent, the school board members, and address these problems about suspension and expulsion.
Right.
That is addressing and impacting their children in a negative way. The other thing is that the parents and the families need to get together, and they need to meet with their children and teach them social skills and ensure that the students know the school policies and how to address the officials, the teachers, and others, and not violate the school policies, because as soon as they halfway violate them or act as if they don't want to do what they are told, within an instant, they're going to be accused of something and they will be expelled. Lately, we find that the community leaders, yes, and especially the religious leaders, are very, very negative about doing anything about education other than talking about the problem.
That's an unfortunate reality.
And the bad news is that we need to put a lot of emphasis on these religious leaders.
That's true.
And the churches, as I have seen for the last 30 years, are one of the serious hindrance in the lives of young people as far as education.
Can I comment on that, Doc?
Come on. But if I comment on it any further, you'll probably get up and leave. So let's see what you have to say about these churches and what they are not doing in the community educationally.
Well, let's say this, that it takes institutions to change the behavior patterns of the masses of the people. I'll repeat that. It takes institutions to change the behavior patterns of the masses of the people. And if you do not get the institutional support, then the behavior pattern of the mass of the people is going to stay the same or get worse. The church, the black church, is the only institution that we control in our community. And the family has been broken up. In many cases, the children are raising themselves. And in the educational format, most of that is controlled by the state. The schools actually came out of churches in many cases. And the church would have to go back to some of the older models. Jeremiah Wright, I was just listening to him the other day. And he was talking about churches for 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday, opening up their doors for 2 hours a day, teaching nothing but reading, writing, and arithmetic, having older, retired teachers and a few deacons, a few men to come and make sure that they be all right. You know, crackers and tuna, you know, a little bit of a good alkaline water, right? Just a little snack. And the children come on in every day. If they live in the community, they can come to the church 2 hours a day for 2 to 3 days a week, reading, writing, arithmetic. Because then that inability to read gap, where they judge how many beds they're going to put in jail, you can eliminate that in your own community. Don't cost a whole bunch of money. And what I'm getting at, there are practical solutions that religious institutions can take up to solve the problems that are in the community.
Brother David, I do know that is one of the best solutions you could come up with. It should be done. But the fact is that most ministers I know are not concerned about education in their churches.
No, come
most
on.
of
all
them,
the teachers
sir,
they have in
I don't care about that. In my years of experience,
yes,
for 30 years, I have been going around talking to preachers and ministers about free education programs,
yes,
where they could get paid to have
to set the GED program up in their church. I remember you were doing that.
Even before then,
yes,
just
sir,
regular tutorial programs, right, for walk-ins of any and all ages.
I remember you were doing that.
I told them it's free.
Yes.
And if you didn't want to get a GED program where many of your students are not old enough for GED, why not start at the younger level?
Right.
And there are monies available, Brother David, for those kind of ministers.
Well, why did they want to tap in?
Because they wanted an administrative fee.
Oh, they trying to get paid at the expense of the community.
Exactly right.
Oh, no.
Now, the preacher's already telling folks,
no,
I'm going to get you to heaven if you pay your tithes,
no,
and your offerings.
No.
And at the same time, when they get a chance to help folks, they are not going to get paid the third time. All they have to do, and later leaders, I want to tell you, especially the preachers and the church officials, since you're in a leadership position, you need to look at your situation, and if you have 10 or more members and a church with the lights paid, the light bill paid, and you have heat and gas, you need to do what Brother David said. Open your church doors.
For 2 to 3 days a week.
2 to 3 days a week.
2 hours a day.
2 hours a day.
Teaching nothing but reading, writing, arithmetic with retired teachers and a few men and with just some snacks.
And all they will do is learn.
Right.
And once they do that, they then will have the skills they need to be competitive in the school system.
Because you break the cycle. One of the things Jeremiah Wright was talking about, Jeremiah Wright, you know, pastor emeritus from Trinity United. He was also the pastor of Barack Obama. Right. Jeremiah Wright was making this point, that in the Jewish community, they have a day where they go every week to go learn about their history and their culture. The only place that can teach that in our community is the black church. Now, I pray God that they don't start their history with enslavement, right? For any person that begins their history with enslavement, everything else seems like progress. So says Dr. John Henry Clark, master teacher himself. But we don't have to start our history with enslavement. But even if we do, we can talk about Ella Jo Baker, right? Civil rights icon. We could talk about Mary McLeod Bethune, who opened up an institution off sweet potato pies. We could talk about Shirley Chisholm, first black woman to run for president. We could talk about Septima Poinsetta Clark, Kathleen Cleaver, Merle Evers Williams, Fannie Lou Hamer, Charlene Hunter Galt. We have a lot of women, just women alone, post-enslavement, that we can speak about to give the glory of our story just like lift every voice and sing. We can give the glory of our story to our children in those institutions, and you cannot do that in the school system.
Brother David, I tell you just brought up a solution that we need to address throughout the United States.
Don't cost a lot of money either.
It doesn't cost a lot of money, but we need to put more emphasis on female leadership in education, in politics, in the corporate world.
Because they tend to look out for the family
Exactly,
more.
because males have failed us.
Yes.
And the males are very smart. Throughout the history of America, they have made it possible where females are excluded from voting and almost anything else up till the 1920s.
It's a Eurocentric, chauvinistic model that is detrimental to oppressed communities. I'm going to repeat that. It's a Eurocentric, chauvinistic model that is detrimental to oppressed communities. It's patriarchal, it's paternalistic in its view, and it also has a denigrating aspect on females in general, even if it raises a few individually. And so we've got to do better, and the only way we're going to do better if the black church get on board, open up those spaces, and allow the children to come on in from the community, give them the reading, writing, and arithmetic, break that cycle of being unable to read by the 3rd grade, and then break that other cycle of the prison industrial complex, at least on the level of not being able to read, right? If the child can read a little better, get an ear exam, get an eye exam, it's less likely that they end up in special ed. You got to convince the mama that she don't need to take the crazy check for the child, where they're going to put the child on all the drugs, the Ritalin and the Zimmerol and all the other drugs that are not going to help the child, they're going to hurt the child.
Okay, Brother David, that's real good, but let me tell you what else these preachers are going to have to do, and the parents too are going to have to work with these preachers. They must get together and select their own candidates for public office.
Yes.
Declare that in our district we're going to have term limits.
Right.
Find some of their own members to run for public office.
Right.
All parents and others in the community ought to consider getting on the school board.
Right.
Getting into a situation where they become part of the commissions and agencies.
But they're supposed to come to Action Leadership Institute and get this information.
Well, I'm going to give it now. Need to say, I am going to own me a politician.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, in these churches, all you have to do, Brother David, as a minister, and I know you know about ministers in your family.
I know a little bit about them.
You need to say, we have 500 members.
Yes.
We are going to get all those that are eligible to vote, voted.
Yes.
Get them registered, that is.
Don't tell them who to vote for.
Of course not.
Just get them registered.
But then you select your own politicians, or you buy you a politician that's already in office.
That's what the other people do.
Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. It's cheaper to buy them, really.
That's right.
And folks, buying a politician means that you are selecting a candidate, looking at his platform. You give them your platform and say, I have 3 demands that I expect you to carry out if we vote for you. We're going to pay you or give you a contribution of $5,000, and we want this to happen.
Right. We're going to deliver some startup money and some votes, right?
That's right.
Right. And we need you to run this program because you've been coming to the meetings and you've been on board with what's going on, and we're going to run you for the candidate, and you're not going to have to do all the legwork, and it's going to be all right because there ain't nothing illegal about any of it. But we got a problem, though, Doc.
What is the problem?
Black leadership is afraid to control the economics of their own community. Black leadership is afraid to tell black people to spend their money with black businesses first and foremost, especially in groups of 7 or more. Black leadership is afraid to build a black business infrastructure that can eventually produce the messiahs that they say that they seek. Black leadership is afraid to be free.
Who are they afraid of?
They're afraid that they're going to have to give up their white supremacy of God. If they give up their white supremacy God, they have no one to blame anymore. They have no one to depend on. They need those white angels with that blonde hair and that blue eye floating up in the sky. They cannot imagine their own black divinity can set them free. And that's why they can't act on the Action Leadership Institute. That's why they can't act on the 444 plan. That's why they don't want to deal with these 10 points that you brought up, because they're afraid to be free. That's black leadership, not the black people.
Wait now. You are telling these people now that if they do that, they won't go to heaven when they die. You know, most of these black folks
in America. Why wait till you die?
Well, I don't know why they wait.
Why would you wait till you die?
I would tell you. I said I didn't know, but I'm going to tell you. They have been brainwashed to believe that they need to die to go to heaven. But there's something called the Hendersonistic principle that says, through reading, that heaven is on earth. The kingdom is on earth.
That's right.
So, folks, you need to prepare to live in the kingdom while you're alive. And I've been saying for 50 years that there's no way in this world that you can live in hell on earth while you're alive. and then go to heaven when you die. I don't care how many tithes you pay. When you're in a situation economically, politically, and socially, as we get ready to wrap up, you cannot do hooking and crooking, not paying your taxes, stealing, lying, cheating, and then not at the same time, not even know the 10 Commandments, can't repeat them if they paid you. How can you go to heaven? So you need to live in heaven on earth, folks, and let these preachers know that you need to help me live in this kingdom on earth before I die, and I might continue to give you these tithes and these offerings. Otherwise, we're going to get rid of you, minister. We're going to hire a minister with some corrective action plans, and at the same time, if you don't do what we say, we're going to tell you to close this church or we're leaving, or we're going to make it into a job training institute or a school.
Oh,
that's it.
Hendersonistic principle.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be forceful, because the human enemies of mankind are not going to do anything for you. I told you all they want you to do is pray, feel good about nothing, and say, I'm going to make it one day. And I'm going to wrap this up by saying, Brother David, heaven is here now.
Yes, sir.
I gave our listeners the blueprint for heaven.
Right here on earth.
On earth.
Well, thank you, sir.
And I want to thank you for being with us.
It's an honor to be with you once again.
And in the future, expect to get another invitation.
I appreciate you kindly, sir.
Thank you. The Action Leadership Institute has office space for rent at North Jackson off I-55 South at 5435 Executive Place Office Park, located in a high-traffic count area. There are 4 offices available, 1 office space, 650 square feet, 3 offices, 150 square feet each. All are available today with first month free and deposit. Ideal spot for established businesses and startups such as law and tax offices, insurance companies, boutiques, counseling centers. Again, the address is 5435 Executive Place Office Park, shown by appointments only. The number is 601-201-1957. Thank you for tuning into the Eld Henderson Real News Show, issues, views, and solutions. The Eld Henderson Real News Show is designed for you to listen, learn, and invest your knowledge and skills in your community. The show's format will be clear and direct. Each show will identify a problem. It will determine who benefits from the problem. The show will also determine who is the victim. And finally, we will show you how to create a prioritized action plan for success that can change your life, family status, and community in 30, 60, 90 days guaranteed. The Eld Henderson Real News Show will identify, address, and teach you how to resolve problems in education, economics, politics, religion, community development, and local, state, national, and international affairs. So I want you to stay tuned for the Eld Henderson's Real News Show. Hello, viewers. This is Eldridge Henderson from the Eld Henderson Real News Show. Part of being successful is dressing for success. This is why I want to tell you about Pennywise Cleaners, who has been serving the Southwest Jackson community for over 3 years at 4590 Raymond Road in Jackson, Mississippi. Pennywise delivers friendly service with a smile. Whether drop-off, drive-through, or delivery, Pennywise has got you covered. All work is done on-site using state-of-the-art equipment to keep you sharp and clean. A penny saved is a penny earned. At Pennywise Cleaners, located at 4590 Raymond Road, Jackson, Mississippi. For more information, the number is 601-372-0097. Pennywise Cleaners is a proud sponsor of the Eld Henderson's Real News Show.